How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Gray. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I've yet to have a name for it. Maybe you can help me out with that, alright? At the time I did this, I was showing 1-point perspective. And I figured I did it on matte paper. Canvas paper, rather. And I was deciding, well, since I did the scene, I might as well paint it and maybe make a lesson out of it. Okay. Not using very much paint. I'm going to show it to you. This is it right here. Very runny purple, white, cad red, sap green, phthalo blue, and regular titanium white. That's what I got up here. Okay. And I got some, well, that's the titanium white. This is actually a matte medium. I'm going to put a little bit here and there on the canvas. Okay. I used to be an oil painter. Well, I still am, but I primarily like to deal with acrylic because it's non-toxic, and I got pets, and I really don't want to have the smell of turpentine and paint thinner in this small area I have. My little lesson was first 1-point perspective, and I already did that lesson. It's already up on there. And I decided I really didn't want to waste the canvas paper. Yet, I did the lesson in permanent black ink and pencil lead. But it won't matter once you put the paint on it, cover it right up. So, in doing something like this, say if you're the type of painter who would prefer to draw or sketch something like this. Alright, obviously you won't use black marker or whatever, but you like to sketch out your whole picture. For those who are pretty new to this, if this is how you prefer to do your drawing first, okay, yes, I'm in my room, you're going to hear a dog barking, sirens, you're going to hear the whole thing. What you do is paint from the back to the front, alright. Now with this painting, you also have to imagine where the important elements are going to be, which mainly is going to look, from what it looks like, it's going to be obviously the road and the little mile markers. I might not have as many once the trees are put in and everything. Now, we have the sky, sun or the moon. You got a hill back here, the road. These little sticks you see are actually the trunks of trees. You got the hills on each side, okay, and obviously the road. Now, you don't really want to put much detail in your grass area because it's going to be covered by trees, right? Makes sense. You don't want to put too much detail in your hill area over here for the simple fact it's going to be covered also by trees, alright? And you don't want to put really too much detail in your sky because the tips are going to be covered by trees. Alright, so basically it'd be a fairly simple painting. Usually I would tape off the moon / sun or whatever, but I might just make it a sun, nice little sunset type of scene, so I really don't want to deal with all of that. Okay. Also, it's good to, this is 9x12, is to get yourself brushes conducive to the size of the canvas you're working with. Alright. I have a, it was, I guess you'd call it a filbert. Alright. Size 8. Size 8 filbert. I'll probably use this mainly for the background. Probably for the hill back here. Probably use it for most of it. Coloring in the grass or whatever I want to put on this scene. If I want to make it snow, or if I want to make it green, you know, it doesn't matter. Okay. So first off, what I'm going to do, I also have a blender. I might use that. Show you how to use it. Very soft. Actually, what this is nothing but a makeup brush. Go to Walmart, go to the ladies section, get a makeup brush, and there you go. Very soft bristles. It blends. Doesn't take much to really wipe it off or clean it off. Okay. I do have an actual blender brush, but it's more for oil painting, and I really don't want to use it for acrylics. Also, if you do both acrylics and oil, get separate brushes for acrylic, separate brushes for oil. All right, because you got paint thinner and everything for oils, and then with regular acrylic you just want water and soap or whatever, and clean it right off. Okay, so let's get started here. Like I say, this shouldn't be too bad. All right, I'll just use my little filbert, get some of this matte medium. I'll just put it right across the sky here. All right. Now you're gonna pick up some of the lead or whatever. It may smudge, but believe me, honestly, it's not gonna really make a difference once that paint goes on. Okay. One color I did not put on here is what I need, because I think I'll make it a little sunset. Is yellow. So I'll getting a little tube of yellow here. All right. It's yeah, just basic yellow, no fancy name of any sort. All right. And I'll just put a little yellow into the sky here. Probably down here toward the bottom. Something like that. Now, you can see the pencil lines coming through, which is fine. To really get rid of the lines and the marks, white is excellent for covering stuff like that right up. Okay. So let's dip a little white into the yellow, like so. Now I want to put a tad of red tip of the brush. I'm gonna go up here towards the top and just fade it in, like so. Now while this acrylic, even though it does dry pretty fast, matte medium will slow down the drying time a little bit. Okay? So, it's okay. Don't panic. Now, with all of that being done, I'll just put the brush here. I'm going to take my handy little makeup brush and I'll just blend real softly. Nice little blend. And you can aim the paint in whatever direction you want. Okay, but a nice soft blend is really all you need. See? Something like that. Aim it downward or whatever direction you like. And this is pretty much it right here. Now, if I'm not too happy with the marks I see, I'll just go over it again. Because when you put white in with whatever color, it's opaque, extremely opaque. It'll cover it right up. Okay? Now I would like to work on, let me rinse this off. I got a little pail of water with a screen in it. Alright. Old rag, just wipe it off. Okay. Like I say, I'll probably stick with the filbert. I want to do something with this hill back here. Okay. Well, before I even attempt that, let's do something with this. I guess I'll make it a sun. So I'll dip my white in it. No medium on it. I'll have it dry. It's okay. Circular motion. There's a method to my madness. And you see where I have my tad more white. Where I have my permanent marker for a rounding of the sun. Go in a circular motion. You don't have to be extremely rough with it. Okay. Just like that. Cover it right up. Now, a lot of the shine is here in the center. It'd be good to keep that. Because when you go over it with the yellow, it'll just accentuate and highlight what you've already put down. Alright. So I'll just take a touch of yellow. And just start in. Circular motion. I'll mix a little more white in that center. Add more, just to brighten it up a little bit. Yeah, that should be it. Get some of the little sun rays out there a little bit. Circular motion. Just keep the flow of it. Okay. And there you go. It's not bad. Okay. Got a nice little glow down here on the bottom. If you ever want to tighten up the glow a little bit, just add a little bit of white. Like I say, it's still pretty slick. And if you want, take your blender brush and just soften it up. So it's a nice, easy transition. Because the paint is still a little wet, but you can also tell when you go over it with the soft brush that it's starting to tack up and dry. Alright, it does dry pretty fast. Just rinse it off a little bit. Wipe it off. Wipe off your brush. Let's get to the hills. Like I said, you work from the front, or from the back to the front. I might want to pat it down with a little green and phthalo blue. I wanted the hills to be a little on the dark side because it will accentuate the brightness of the background. Now what I'm doing is patting the tip of the hill. As you see, it makes it look like a faraway pine trees. Okay. If anything, I want to accentuate it closest to the sun where there won't be any trees. Look right around here. And then when there's trees here, it really doesn't matter. But keeping in rhythm and in practice with it. Now I'm going to base coat the rest of that hill with the darker color. Just be careful of your road. Be mindful of your road. If you are a little shy, a little nervous about using such a brush for your road, then use a smaller brush, whatever you're comfortable with, alright? Now I'm going to get some regular green, sap green, just a touch of blue, a little bit of matte medium. It helps the paint flow a little better. I got the matte medium right on the brush itself. Okay. Because I can cover up some of the orange there and the yellow. Like I say, a lot of this hill is going to be covered with pine trees, which are going to be extremely dark. Okay. So it really doesn't matter. All in here, it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered up by trees. Alright, got to kind of think ahead, you know. Something like that. Put a little more matte medium, a little more blue. I know you don't see me doing it. That's why I'm talking, describing what I'm doing. Start right from the top here. Get that all colored in. Now, I think the camera is close enough that you can see a little bit of the orange through the pine trees in the background back there, which actually helps for the realism of your piece. You know, if you want to do a forest scene or whatever, it helps not to make them so solid. Okay. Like I said, all I have is just matte medium on the brush. That's all. There. Alright, pretty cool. let's work on this ground, the foreground here. I want the foreground to be a tad darker than what's back there. Alright. So what I'm going to do is add more green, or more blue to my green, and maybe a slight hint of red. Okay. Now, instead of matte medium where you are working with acrylics, I'll just dip it a little bit into the water in my bucket here, just to loosen up the paint a little bit. I like to, might as well show it to you while I'm thinking about it. Grumbarker. Here, there you go. I like the tubes. They're a little thicker. Let's see. As far as the matte medium, I'm not really too. I got the Deller Roundy matte medium. Okay, tube like that. Okay. Does the job, does the trick, so it's all good. I'm gonna dip a little bit of the matte medium in with the loosened paint. It's always good to have more. I got a really dark, purpley, greenish gray color. Alright. And I'm going to get as close to the edge of the road as I can without really destroying it. Okay. And a little hill part here, back here. Like I say, all of this, what you see me do, is going to be mainly covered by trees. Matter of fact, this color that I mixed together would have been perfect for the dark part of the tree. But that's okay. I'll work around that also. Like I said, I really didn't want to waste the paper, so I figured I'd do a little lesson on it. But just block it right in. As best you can, block it in. There we go. And you just do the same on the other side. Like I said, I do not have any medium on the canvas itself. So I'm actually, as you can hear, rubbing it directly into the canvas. Okay. Get a little more paint, a little more water, just a touch of water. And this is the foundation anyway. Okay. So it helps it to flow. And usually if you know what you're going to paint in your mind's eye, your painting speed will increase the more you do it. And you get accustomed and used to the techniques to achieve the effects you want. You'll become more proficient at it. Everybody works at a different speed and a different pace. Alright, so don't really concern yourself with the next person's doing. Everybody does not operate the same speed and same level. Okay. I can show you how to do it, but the rest of the journey is yours. Okay. Now, as you can see, even though I didn't plan on it, it's almost like atmospheric perspective. If stuff is closer to you, it gets darker. Further away, it gets lighter. Alright, I got the blue greenish here, the light blue green here, sap green, and then you got the yellow and the red orange mix with the sunlight. Okay, so everything kind of works its way. Alright. I want to go back really to the sun, but let's work on that road right now. So what I'm going to do, I got a lot of crud on the brush. I'll just clean it off real quick. Now it's also good if you have a couple of jars of water. Like I have a bucket down here with a screen. Now I can't use that bucket for moistening of the paint and getting any water because now it's contaminated with obviously this color. So you get yourself a smaller jar with clear water. And you do your dipping in that. Alright. Let's move to another brush. Alright. This is a number 10 flat. It's not a bright brush. A bright brush would have little indentations on each side. This is a flat. Alright. And I think I already mentioned it's a number 10 flat. I'm going to use this for the road. Alright. Now, I primarily really don't like to use black. I usually make do with about 5 colors. That's my own personal preference. For the sake that we are doing the road, I'll use the black. Okay. Now I'm going to dip into the medium first for the road, because I want it to be the application to be pretty smooth for the road. Okay. Now this road is also colored with lead. From the pencil marks I was showing the perspective lesson, that's why you see the changing color in the smears, which will actually could help. Okay. And I'm going to use some more matte medium on the other side. Now don't worry if you get the matte medium on a place you didn't intend to paint, because matte medium dries clear, so don't worry about it. Okay. Like I say, don't panic. You'll be alright. Now as I'm doing this, the upper part here is drying up, so I can do some either glazing or go back over it again. You know, whatever I choose. Now, I don't want this to be solid black. Alright, actually the road would be a little on the gray side, but I'm going to still keep it mostly black. Now, I got glazed medium on it. I put a little glaze on the brush. I mix a little, just a tiny bit of white with the black. Alright. And to keep my own sanity, I'm going to go as close to that line as I can. As you hear the activities going on here in upstate New York. Running the mill. Believe me, if you live in a big city, you know all about it. You don't pay attention to it much. I'm going to go on the other side here. Alright, I'm going to dip into my clearer water just to loosen up the paint. Finish off the rest here. Now the thing about roads and doing them in perspective, when it comes to adding texture, go with the flow. Go with the direction the road is going. Makes life a lot easier for you. Trust me. I'm going to get a tad more black, just a touch more white. That's why you don't see me painting anything up there. I'm going to dip a little more into the water. Now when I dip into the water, it's just like the tip of the brush. Alright, that's just more than enough to loosen it. Okay, I'm going to get a little closer to this edge here. There we go. Now I'm going to work on the other edge. Like I said, the matte medium, it does dry, but not as quickly as the acrylic will. I'll just bring it down here, like so. So hopefully some of this is making a little sense to you. Now I still want it to go in the direction just adding some more white, a little bit of white to the black, and I'll dip a little more, just a little bit into the water, just loosen up the paint a little bit. All right. work on the other side. If you're nervous about painting perspective lines, take your brush, press down on it, no more. And actually it'll steady your brush better than you trying to lightly skim across it. And just follow it all the way down. Okay. I'm just touching just to get that straight part here of the hill. And then you just color the rest in. Just fill it in with color. Now I also have a little bit of medium on the brush so the paint is not going to totally dry on you. Okay. Now, I'm not going to wipe the brush. Take a little more white. Right on the tip of the brush. And I am going to stroke that way. And it's like you're going with the lines already set, the perspective lines. Adds a little character to your road a little bit. Do it again. Go on the other side. And just follow the lines. Keep everything in that direction. Okay. I know a lot of you got the 1080p type of computer, so got pretty good screen resolution. You should be able to see the streaks and all of that good stuff. If not, I'll zoom in. You should be pretty close so you can see what I'm doing. I'll just dip into the white. Put a little too much on, I'll just wipe it off. Palette. Just like so. And if you're not satisfied with the streaks, just go back over with black. It'll mix with what's on there, turn it gray again, you'll be good to go. Alright, like I say, once again, don't panic. Okay, with all that said, I'm going to rinse my brush off. Sorry for looking at the back of my head. And if you're inquiring, yes, I am a lefty. We're going to work on this grass. I'm going to use, going back to, what size is this again? This is the Filbert size 8. Going back to this again. Reason why is I like the openness of the bristles. Okay. What I'm going to do is use a little yellow. I'm not going to use white. I'll use a little bit of yellow. So I'm dipping in a little yellow. A touch of this purple greeny looking mixture I made, the blue and the green. Okay. I'm going to keep tapping. I'm going to tap it right into the bristles. I'm going to lightly tap just for patterns of the grass. Now, this is important. Now, we have a hill. Okay. Once you lay down the pattern, I'll get, for example, this. I'll just tap away here. Go in that direction for the hill. Just tap. Now, do you have to necessarily start right from the line what I was doing right here? Not necessarily. Okay, but all I'm doing is giving it a little tap. Like I say, 90% of this is going to be covered with trees. Okay, I'm going back into my little loose mixture of the lighter color. I'm just going on the side. Remember, it's a hill, so even if your first one is like this, it gives you a pattern to follow. Okay, it keeps the flow and it helps with your perspective. A little bit more. Acrylic paint also dries. I'm getting a little more of this dark mixture, a little more of the yellow. I'm not using white. When I highlight grass, I try not to use white. Use yellow. Because of the fact that yellow is in green. Okay. Green is a secondary color. You take two of the primary colors to make yellow, make green, which would be blue and yellow makes green, secondary color. Blue and yellow are primary colors. I'll discuss that a little bit later on also. I'm gonna lighten it up here. Look like a little bit of the sunlight, playing around over there. And all I'm doing is adding a little more yellow to the green mixture, even here. Just play around with it right here too, just a little bit. But I'm not gonna go hog wild because, like I say, a lot of this is gonna be covered up with the trees. Just give yourself just enough, sparsely. Okay, something like that. Can't seem to get enough, I'll never go lower with the brush. But something like that. Okay. It's not really that difficult. Alright. If I really wanted to, if I didn't plan to have so many trees in the way, I could make little bits of tree line coming up through here. Like I say, the majority of it you're not going to see. That's why I'm not going to do it. Because we're going to take some of this dark color and we're going to start blocking in the trees. Alright. Let's save that a little later. I want to come back to the sun and come back to the, as you see, it got darker. So the color set in. Alright. I just want to brighten it up a little bit, liven it up. Alright, because once you get the darkness of the trees in there, you need something really to pierce through when you make the gaps in the trees. Like I say, you always try to think ahead. Okay. Let's get a little more white. I'll deal with the sun first. Let's get a little more white. Touch of yellow. A little bit of medium. I'm going to aim it right toward the center. Right about there. And we're going to do it again. This time a little more white. Circular motion. Don't make it as harsh. Now I'm going to wipe a little bit off my brush. And I'm going to go in a light, very light, circular motion on the outside here. Because a lot of it's dry. I don't want a hard line for the edges of the sun. And I'm going to brush a little bit of that right into the hill itself. Okay. Just a little bit. Now you see I got a little green in there, but that's okay. That'll go right out. Get rid of that. Stir it around. Like so. Whoops, a little bit on the other side. And I'll just wipe it off with some more. See my residual paint over there. A little touch of yellow. And just go over that. It mixes right in. So, like I say again, as usual, do not panic. Still pretty damp. Take my blender, just softly blend it out. Circular motion, don't press too hard. Just blend it out, that's all. Blend it right on out. shall rinse it off once more. We'll start on the trees. So many different ways to do pine trees. Okay? So many different ways. I'm going to start off with a very dark mixture of sap green and phthalo blue. Mix it right in there. Sap green, phthalo blue, and a touch of red. Pretty much the same mixture I did with the primary grass. But now it will show up darker. I'm going to mix a little more of this sap green and blue because I got trees on both sides and a little more red. You're going to see it's the same color as the ground mixture in the hill facing us. But since you got the layers of color, it'll appear very dark. Okay. Now you still see the horizon line. Stick to the horizon line. That's your tallest tree. It's right there. Next one will be here. And you're just going accordingly, downward. Okay? Now all I want to do really is just block it in. Pretty much like this. Just block it in. Now how I approach my trees, okay, I'll keep a little bit of that out there. How I approach my trees is that they're all kind of mashed together, so basically you're just making a big glob of leaves. Alright, but leave spaces. That's the important part. Leave the spaces where you can see a little bit of your background. There, something like that. And just keep going. Matter of fact, I'll just block all of that in. Like I say, most of it was going to get blocked anyway. Just like that. If you want some of your trees to come off further, then have them come off further. But that's basically it. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to get some more phthalo blue, sap green, a little bit of cad red. Those three make perfect mountain colors for your water, ocean or whatever. Now, if you mix a little more of one than the other, that's what their color is going to lean toward, but it's still going to be that foundational dark color. So you can do it and have more green, you can do it and have more blue, alright, you can do it and have more red, but it'll still be that deep, dark, foundational color. It's not black, alright, not truly black. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Wherever your top horizon line is, anything closest to us will be the tallest, and you go down accordingly. Alright, I'll put a little baby in here, and keep going, and keep going, and keep going. I'll have it go right beyond the bush here. And then, just darken it right up. Now, if you want your tree, I kind of like it with the bushes in the front. I might want to keep that motif even on this side. Nah, maybe not. I don't think so. I think I'll put a big one out here that even covers a little bit of the road. Big monster tree right here. Just like that. That actually helps you bring the picture closer together. Same thing with this one here. Now these can go further back. They can go into where a little bit of the bushes can come out. I'm going to dip into the water a little bit. Now with blue and red, those colors bleed lovely. So you might want to be mindful of that. Okay. Now the rest of these are just being blocked in, just splotches of color here and there. Just like that. Alright. You see how it's all coming together? Okay. Yes, I got little leaves and stuff here, but I can, if I want, I can just go over. I'm going to still cover it. I don't have a big one here. Make it a nice road hazard. All right. Uh, you can still, almost lost my train of thought. You can still keep your tree depth and all of that. Oh, I was talking about the color. Blue and red will, they love to bleed. They bleed in clothes when you wash them. Okay. It's just the nature of that color. It does bleed. So when you dip into your clear water, just be mindful of that. Like I say, you really don't need too much water. Okay. Make sure you clean your brush out really good. Brush off really good. Let's work on that road back there. Now, if you really think I'm going to use this big filbert for that little road, you're out of your mind. I'll still stick with the bigger brush. All right. With this road, it can still be gray, but not as gray as the road before it. Okay. Well, I really don't want you to look at the back of my skull, so I'll do it this way. I'm going to, no medium, just carefully tap in. Your road going up the hill. I won't use medium, but I will use a little bit of water. Help it flow a little bit. And just tap it. I do turn my brush around. There's ink on the other side. Okay. I get some more black. I'm using, actually, I'm using black gesso. For acrylic, because like I said, I'm not really a big fan of using black, but if I have to use black in any of my paintings, I will stick with using the black gesso. Okay. It serves the same purpose. It's black anyway. Dries just as fast. Like I say, this is not totally black anyway. It is gray. Just darker. If I use total black, you would definitely tell. Also, as a preference to myself, you see I have tape all the way around this picture. Some people will paint the whole board, which is cool. To each their own, really. No right, no wrong way. Alright. I choose not to. All depends on the project, to tell you the truth. Now, I like it appears just neater to me when I do it that way. That's just my, like I say, to each their own, that's just me. Sometimes I will put a border, sometimes I won't. Alright. Alright. Slowly starting to come together. Okay. What I'll do now is a little bit of the highlights on the trees back there. Okay. I think I'll use a little more white, a lot more white, because I want to not totally have those guidelines exactly white. So I'll lighten it a tad. And still, even though I'm doing it, streaking it, there, even here, I'll streak it here too. Go straight up with it. And if you think it's a little too gray, go back over it with white. Everything's easily correctable. Acrylic is very forgiving in that manner. a little too gray for your taste, just add some white. Pure white, no water, no nothing. Okay. It's to your discretion of how you want it. Alright. So, there you go. So we'll have a little fun with the highlights of the trees, okay? Now I also have, like I said, this purple. I didn't forget about the purple. And of course, a painter, oil or acrylic, just won't be a painter if you didn't leave a mess and spill stuff where you really don't want it spilled. But that's okay. You know, things happen. Let's deal with some of this highlight. Now, obviously, the sun's right here, so your highlights will come toward the front for both. Okay. I will use. I'm not going to use. I'll use more yellow with the green. Much more yellow than green, and maybe just a touch of white, and I mean a slight touch of white to mix it in. Alright. And I don't have it soaked too far into the bristles. You see the darkness within those bristles? It actually helps with the effect of the trees. Okay. Now, in doing your highlights, okay, make them random, like so. Dip more into your bright color and just keep it moving. Don't stay too long in one area. I have my brush tilted up and down, sideways. Okay, add a little more white to my mixture. Brighten it up just a tad. As you get to the smaller trees, you're going to have to just tap using the side of your brush. And as you get lower, you can fan it out a little more. Now, as I get towards the sun, I want the shine, glistening of the trees to get just a tad brighter. Just a bit. And basically all I'm doing is really touching. Okay. If you want to add some super bright highlights even to these trees, in spots, like so. Not too much though. Maybe toward the top if anything. And don't go too far into your tree like that. Alright? I just rub that out of there, it's no big deal. And we're going to go on the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to add a little more yellow to what I already have on my brush. And we're just going to go to the opposite side. Much like this. Now remember, this tree is not coming out to the edge of the road like these guys here. Okay. Just tap. Various directions. Doesn't matter. And the closer you get to it, the sun, the brighter they'll get, or they'll at least appear to get. Just keep going. Like all I'm doing is using the filbert. Okay. That's about it right there. For the shadow areas, I'll use some of this greenish mixture. I got the green, blue, red mixture, but I never took the white out of the brush. Alright? Never slide your brush, just tap. different directions if you have to. And remember, it does dry. You don't want to totally destroy all your blacks either, because you need a little bit of separation within there. Okay? When you're in the midst of the other trees. And same thing here. Just tap away. Like I said, I'm going in different directions. Just like that. Alright, there you go. Okay. Now we'll go to the fun part. Let's put the mile markers in there. This painting is done to be just an example of what you can do if that's the type of painting style you prefer to do. Okay. You know what? Since I like this brush, this flat, I think I'll just use the flat. I'll keep going with the flat. Because one, it's got one heck of an edge to it. Okay. So, and I like that. Let's get more black. Acrylic gesso here. And a slight touch of white. A little more white. Because the poles are usually kind of on the gray side. So with it being the darker colors, I'll just do it that way. Now, remember your horizon line somewhere up here. You're going to make one straight line, boom, coming downward. Now, since I covered up the rest with the, paint, the rest of the guidelines, it's okay. You still got a few down here. But as you get, a little more white. As you get closer toward that horizon line, I'm just tapping in more colors to brighten it up a little bit, like so. As you get closer, the lines will get smaller and smaller and smaller, like so. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Get yourself a pole right here. Maybe one, a bigger one, this way. Okay. Go right off the page with it. Alright. That actually helps with your depth perception of where you are on the road. Actually, I like that brightness actually. There. I'm doing here, 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 here. I'm going to sharpen up this brush a little bit. Keep it going. There. I like that. So I'll do it on the other side. I kind of like the brightness. Just little bright specks. Like so. Okay. The little mile marker tops. It's really your prerogative how you want to do the mile marker to the little triangular spots here. Put them on the spot like that. Just make them a little whiter than the pole itself. I am using the side of the brush, just like that, and I just keep going. Eventually they'll just turn into dots. Okay. If anything, your the ones in the foreground here. Hope you didn't see too much of my head. I'm just using pure white. I got black on the brush, so it kind of mixes. Okay. As they get closer, a little bit more triangular, I'm turning the brush over, and I'm doing just random dots. I'm going to flatten out my brush, that's all I'm doing. and getting the dots in there. Alright, painting's almost done, guys. Alright, let's see what else. Well, if anything, I can just take a little bit of this yellow and just dry brush around my sun some more. Because it's totally dry up here. So, I'm just dry brushing more of a handle face. This time I'm scrubbing in. I'm going to use a tiny tinge of white. Mixing it with the yellow. Like so. Even around here a little bit. I just want a little bit of glow. Even, well, I got the black or the grayish with the road. Even that can be slightly. See this? There we go. Gives the impression of some of that glow from the sun coming a little bit over the hills there. Alright? So basically, that's the painting. You can go to the video preceding it to see how I did it with the one-point perspective going here for the road and the trees. Then in the center of the sun was the perspective for this road when I put the second hill in. Okay. My name is Anthony Gray. I did finally complete what's been bothering me for the last day or so because I didn't want to really waste the canvas paper. And I hope this lesson helped you a lot. And well, just let me know. All right. If you have any questions, just put them on the message board there. I should have one up there, and I'll check it out and see what I can do to help you out. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.